Victoria Crawford was born in 1823. She is Evelyn's fourth child and Franklin's first. After her mother's sudden death in 1825, Victoria and her brother Nicholas were left with their father. Franklin managed to take care of them for a while, but they were soon cared for by the house servant. Franklin was too busy with other things to care for them. Evelyn had died so early in their lives, the children couldn't comprehend her absence. As the years went on, the kids saw their father less and less. Their servant Mona had become their only guardian. Victoria and Nicholas were close with one another. She was very protective over her little brother. They were best friends. However, that changed in 1831. Nicholas had gotten sick. What started off as a cold became something much worse. Nicholas spent most days in his bed after the doctor revealed he could not be helped, since he was too ill to get out of bed. Victoria had no choice but to play on her own. Eventually, Nicholas was so ill they could no longer share a room. They were completely separated from each other. Mona was there to comfort her, but a lot of her time was spent caring for Nicholas. Sometimes Victoria would sneak into his room to see him. She even brought him some toys to play with. Nicholas was grateful and played with it whenever he had the chance. Franklin was extremely stressed about his son's illness. He was tired of losing everyone he loved. A year passed and Nicholas's condition was only getting worse. Mona soothed him in his final moments. That was all she could do. Nicholas Crawford passed away in 1832 at 7 years old. Victoria couldn't believe he was gone. Franklin drank even more after his death. It was very hard on him. But all that drinking soon caught up to him. Victoria had to watch illness take another loved one. She had never seen her father cry before then. Franklin tried to stay positive with her. He didn't want her to see him in that state, but she knew what was next for him. Mona helped as much as she could. However, Franklin preferred she keep Victoria's spirits up. She wanted to find a cure for the diseases that took her mother, brother, and soon her father. In the midst of her research, Franklin had passed away. In 1830, Franklin passed at the age of 57. With Franklin gone, the estate and the enslaved were put up for sale. Since her older siblings wanted nothing to do with her, Victoria had no one. Mona said her farewells before Victoria was taken away. She was brought to an orphan home for girls. Life at the orphanage was very different from what she was used to. Their rules were strict. Misbehavior was never tolerated. The caretakers there were kind, for the most part. Victoria still wanted to find cures for diseases. As she got older, she studied more and more. But she was getting to the age where she could no longer stay at the orphanage. At 15, girls were forced into homes to serve. So the day before her 15th birthday, she ran away. She ran for a while before she was exhausted. She collapsed just outside a manor. Luckily for her, the owner was kind. Victoria later woke up in a very nice room. She found the man who helped her and introduced herself. The man's name was Gustavian Morty, and he was a vampire. Victoria apologized for her mishaps and explained her situation. Gustav reassured her that she could stay for as long as she wanted. So, she went along and made herself at home in this strange new place. Victoria continued to research medicine as time went on. Gustav noticed her intelligence and admired her ambition. He bought her all the material she needed for her research. With his support, she was able to create a cough syrup to reduce a common cold. Eventually, the pair started to fall for each other. In 1841, Gustav and Victoria were married. A few years later, Victoria was pregnant. She gave birth to a little girl named Isabella in 1845. Victoria's cough syrup helped thousands and became the #1 medicine used in the country.